as usual, please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone around to you.
Chaz, we saw you making a lot of plays on Saturday. Just how would you evaluate the way you were able to play against Kentucky?
I always love a team that sticks to what they do, and they just try and pound it all game. Huge respect to that team. It's a great, tough team. They play hard-nosed football. They're a lot like us the way we run our program. I love those type of games where it's just downhill run, just old school football, just man on man.
As Jalen had 8 pressures last week against Kentucky, made life really difficult for them. What's been your thoughts on just the way he started the season?
He's starting off fast. You've seen it ever since his freshman year. He has that get off, he has speed, and he has that ability to dip and get under blockers. It's just really hard to block him. He's got all the traits and everything to, be a world-class rusher. So.
Yeah, how do you think Brock Vandegrift played, and just say anything to him after the game?
Yeah, he played his butt off. He had a bunch of rushing yards on us. He did a great job of scrambling when we covered up receivers downfield. He did a great job on pulling and reading our defense when they were in read options a lot. I talked to him after the game. Obviously, it was a tough loss for them. It was a close loss. Didn't talk too much. Let him have his space and talk to him after that.
Chaz, Trevor was just up here and he mentioned that he addressed the team at some point before his suspension, I guess, and after his arrest. I don't know when exactly that was, but can you kind of explain what his message was and kind of how the team's reception to it was, given everything that the team has been through the last few years?
His message was, don't be like him in that way that he didn't rely on teammates that night. We always say be our brother's keepers on, Friday nights, Saturday nights after the games. And he just wanted to use himself as an example to the other guys to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes.
And is it disappointing when you see a teammate like Daniel Harris kind of have a slip up like that, after the fact, even though this message has continued on and on from the coaches and staff and everyone?
Yeah, our staff has driven into us. We've done a bunch of stuff. We've talked about it, and we're just trying to drive it down to, just make the main thing the main thing. There's no reason to put the team at risk or our standard or our identity.
Chaz, when Coach Smart was in here, he was talking about, the importance of improvement during this bye week. When you look at you guys on defense, what do you want to see improvement on over these next few days?
I think one thing that we always want to see improvement on is depth. We always need depth. It's SEC ball. This is a long road we have. It's a long schedule. It's a hard schedule. So we need depth. We need younger guys to step up. We need guys to fill in positions that, football isn't – you can't predict when people are going to go down. We need depth at every single position. We're trying to preach that to the young guys right now that they need to get ready now. It's not time for them to wait till next year.
What kind of response have you seen at this point in the week from the offensive line now that Tate's out and working his way back from injury?
I think Micah has always worked hard. That interior line we have is, first off, huge, powerful, and fast. I don't think it was any change. It's just how they work every single day, and he just has to step into that role and prepare like it's, every single game week. So.
Yeah, it was a really unusual game the other night in that Kentucky did have such success running the football, but once they got over the 50, you guys' numbers were pretty unbelievable. I think it was kind of different, but it was the same in that you kept them out of the end zone. What was the takeaway on that part of the game of just keeping him out of the end zone, and what changed once they got over the 50?
I don't think anything changed. It was, we talked about as a defense, we need to knock back tackle more. We would get guys at the line of scrimmage. It could be 2nd and 7 and end up being a 2nd and 2 because they just fall forwards. And we talked about it. Our tackling was not where it needed to be during the game. We had way too many missed tackles. You know, we're emphasizing that week and going forwards. We need to emphasize it. You know, and I don't think it was anything past the 50 that made any difference. We always say bend up but don't break. You know, I think we really characterized that.
Anybody have another for Chaz? Okay, Chaz, thank you.
Thanks, Chaz.